Hello chess enthusiasts, my name is Miha and welcome to my Chess Realm YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you a short but interesting game between two legends of chess, David Bronstein and Efim Geller. It was played on USSR Championship in 1961, which Tigran Petrosyan won, by the way. So in the game, David Bronstein had white pieces and he started with d4, knight to f6, c4, e6, knight to c3, bishop to b4 and a3, and we have the same-ish variation of Nimzo Indian defense. Nowadays it's rarely played because it has been more or less refuted, but in those days it was quite common. So black captures the knight on c3, white recaptures with pawn, and white has doubled pawns along the c file, which is actually the main reason why players as white don't want to play it. So black castles kingside, f3, preparing to take over the center with e4. Black has to counteract. d5 was played, c takes on d5, e takes on d5, and since white cannot play e4, he plays e3, and now bishop to f5. White cannot develop his knight to his natural place on f3, so knight goes to e2, knight from b to d7, and knight to f4. Knight is actually very well placed, targeting d5 pawn. Although white is down in development and still didn't castle, he is controlling the center, so the position is rather equal. Now black strikes the center with c5. Of course, white cannot take the pawn on c5 because he ruins his pawn structure, so from strategically point of view, black would be better off. So white has to keep the tension in the center. One of the options would be g4 with later h4, harassing black's light square bishop, at the same time gaining initiative on the king side. Instead, white played bishop to d3, offering the trade of bishops. Black captures on d3 and queen recaptures. Well, white's dark square bishop is blocked by his own pawns, so white has just traded his strong bishop. Maybe not the best choice. But anyway, black plays rook to e8, white castles kingside, rook to c8, and now rook to b1, attacking pawn on b7. Well, black could have simply defended the pawn with rook to c7 or even knight to b6. But here black decides to play queen to a5, offering his b pawn, and white accepts the challenge, which was probably a result of a lengthy calculation. So rook takes on b7 and now knight to b6. As you can see, rook is trapped, but currently black could only attack it with queen to a6, which white is preventing with his queen on d3. So black wants to push c4 and win an exchange. White has to act immediately. g4 was played. c4 doesn't work anymore because of queen to f5. Now if black still wants to grab the rook with queen to a6, then rook to b6, queen to b6, and g5. Knight is under attack and cannot go anywhere, so white actually gets two pieces for the rook and is definitely in better position. So here black played h6, now h4. In this position, black could have played c4 because he has created an escape square on h7. So after c4, queen to f5, queen to a6, rook b6, queen b6, g5, knight to h7, queen to d5. White gets two pawns for an exchange and the position is roughly equal. In the game, however, black makes his first inaccuracy and captures the pawn on d4. White plays g5. Here black should have played rook to c3, but black decides to sack the knight and therefore makes second and fatal error. So d pawn takes on e3. White captures the knight and now rook to c3. Queen is under attack and black was probably counting on queen to c5, threatening with discover check, and that indeed would be enough compensation for the sacrificed knight. The only problem is that black missed mate in 3. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to find it. White played queen to g6, threatening mate on g7. If black captures the queen, then rook to g7, king to f8, or h8, whatever, then knight to g6, checkmate. And realizing this, in this position, Efim Geller resigned the game. I hope you like this game and that you have learned something from it. If you have any questions, my email is below in the description. Of course, I invite you to visit my Instagram page. That's it for now, and see you soon.